Yeah. You know what else is new?
This episode?
This episode of the 100. Welcome to Tyson Teddy Talk the 100. Season 7, episode 6. I don't know how to pronounce the title of the episode because they never said it in the episode. But I'm going to say Nakara. That's my closest pronunciation. I don't think anyone knows because, they didn't say it. The only way this episode title came up in the episode was on Raven's visor. It was the name of the planet. Yeah,
the planet where they left all the dead people.
Yup. Yeah. Which I don't. They got a lot of explaining to do.
They got a lot of planets that they do weird things with.
They got a lot of planets that they're just using for
one specific thing.
Yeah, it's a planet. I feel like you could use that for a lot. You know, yeah. It's like there's a prison, right? That's just in one section of an entire state of a country, yeah, and then of a continent, and then of a planet. But they're you know what? It's the whole planet.
It's like the planet of Australia.
Yeah. God, Jesus Christ. Anyways, episode starts off, guys. My name's Teddy. That's Tyson over there. We talk about the 100.
Specifically the last season.
Yeah. This episode started off with Dioza getting taken. It goes back to when Octavia and Dioza first started getting taken. I don't know why, but I immediately thought of. I don't think this was even when. I don't even think this was even when it happened. But do you remember when Octavia... This is not even funny. When Octavia screams for Dioza, she's like, Dioza! I don't know why that makes me laugh. It's funny to me. The original part is when she does it. It's when Dioza's going into the portal. Okay. And then she's... yeah, that's what she does the first time. Octavia's actor, man. I don't know. The way she talks is very funny to me sometimes.
She's very... she likes to pronounce.
She enunciates.
Enunciates, that's the word.
You know? Enunciates. But yeah, it starts off with Dioza getting taken. And it's a montage of Dioza going crazy in her cell for a little bit. Yeah. And then she fucks up some guards that come.
It was I got to say, I like the music choice as well. It was kind of not 9 Inch Nails, but 9 Inch Nails adjacent. And it was very punk rock, kind of grunge. And I think it fit really well, especially when she was when you saw her in her cell and she was looking at the camera and smiling and then going all crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of horrifying.
I really liked it. And then and then it was all just an act. We kind of see later that it was all just an act just to get what does she do? She pretends that she's choking and then
oh man. But I was gonna say too, she originally it seems like they do get into her memories, but they basically knock her out to do that because she's resisting so much, even though it was pain level high. Yeah. I was like, God damn, Dioza. And then Jesus. Well, she definitely is, because it's there's a montage of her going crazy, then she fucks up some guards, and then the next shot is her in there tied up fucking
Hannibal
crucified.
Lecter.
Yeah.
She's like Hannibal Lecter.
And then there's a dude spoon feeding her, and then she starts acting like she's choking, and then the dude goes to I don't know, give her CPR or whatever, or goes to release her. Yeah. And she goes to bite his neck, and then he knows what she's about to do. He's like, please don't. I think he says, please don't, I'll let you loose, or something like that. Yeah. Legit, stop, I'll let you out, don't fucking rip. And then she says something, and then she's fucking...
At first I thought she had his ear, and so I was like, oh, she's just taking off his ear. And then when I see she leans back after she bites, and it's just it's a volcano of blood out of this guy's neck.
This one was... Jesus. This one was brutal because they've done this in shows before.
Yeah.
The first time I remember seeing it in a show was The Walking Dead when I was so excited for that moment because they had done it in the comic. So, but I didn't think they were going to do it in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, even there, I mean, it's brutal and it's gory. But, like, they don't linger on the bite. Whereas she, like, pulled the skin off a little bit, like, oh, it's about to happen, and then did it. And I was like, oh my god, dude. Like, that kind of made it extra.
You have to bite pretty damn, like, deep as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's something.
And then she spooned his eye out.
Well,
that's another thing.
That was such a weird shot, because, like, you see her, and then you see her grab the spoon, and she
takes a bite.
And I'm just like, why is this a shot? And then she like looks down at the camera almost with the spoon in her hand, and then it cuts to,
and she I think she bends down, and then,
yeah, and then it cuts to like an eye being like processed, and I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she took his eye, okay.
And then you see,
and then it drops to the floor.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
And they just show it. God,
they really went for
on
it.
The CW
for this intro. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, the introduction to this episode on the CW.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is Indra and Maddie going to Sanctum. Maddie's going off to school. One of the guards, one of the Wand Crew guards or whatever, goes up and tells Indra that a bunch of guns that were stolen. Somebody broke into the armory. Indra is super suspicious of anyone talking to Russell / Shade Hada. And then, because he was out with two guards, she's like, who let him out? Like, what's going on here? Which I thought was very odd that she got so mad, because then when the other guard takes him back, she asks what was he doing? He's like, I was ordered to. He's allowed 10 minutes outside every day. Like, I was
like, not anymore.
Yeah, yeah, jeez. And then she goes in to talk to him. I thought this was interesting. He was he was basically talking about how they need a commander, and he said something. I don't have the quote exactly written down, but he was like, is Clark gonna do it? She could. And then he says something along the lines of
she held the flame.
She's one of the only 3 to have carried the flame.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I gotta think back on that, because when was that a thing?
They put the flame in her. Into Clark.
What? When was that? I'm sure it happened.
It was after. It was after. What was her girlfriend's name?
Lexa.
It was after Lexa died.
Okay, that sounds about right.
I think it was that time frame. It was after that, and then it came out of Lexa, and then it went into they didn't have a commander, so then they chose Clark. I think, and they put it into Clark.
What weirded me out about this was I was like, Clark was never the commander.
Yeah.
I was.
It wasn't. She wasn't chosen. I think they just put it in her to be the commander, but then I forget how it got out. But yeah, so it was those 3 is just him, Maddie, and then Clark.
Yeah, he was there's only 3, and I wrote all that down. And then he was the only thing that you're afraid of, Indra, is that they're gonna follow me. And I was like,
and then he's
she was afraid of that, and I was like,
yeah, because he's like, oh yeah, and I would be too, and I'm like, oh man. And I wrote that I love how the actor now that he doesn't really have to play 2 separate, he doesn't really have to hide who he is. He's a completely different now. He's a completely different role in the same sort of in the same body as this other guy. He's kind of
played weirdly 3 roles,
Yeah.
Russell, Shade Hada hiding, and then Shade Hada fully not.
But I really I can totally tell the difference now between Russell and Shade Hada, and I and I appreciate that in the same actor in the same show.
There's another scene later that is very him showing it even more,
Yeah.
Then it goes over to Clark, Jordan, Nyla, Miller, and Raven on the ice planet, which I believe is called Nakara because that's the title of the episode, and I'm pretty sure that's what Raven's visor said.
I'm gonna call it Hoth.
Yeah, sure.
Hoth
but it
2.
also Hoth 2, the sequel.
Yeah.
And then Nyla immediately making a cool Mr. Freeze pun. I was like, let's go, dude. I'm about it. That was great.
I really wish that it was somebody else because like she doesn't really have a lot of lines in the show, and then so you're just gonna give her like these like kind of throwaway lines.
I think they're trying to make her a little bit likable because even me and you the couple episodes ago were like, who is she again? Yeah. We had to remind ourselves. So they're probably like, you know, trying to bring her back up into focus while also giving her a likable line.
I think she'll have like a more important role as the season goes on too.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's interesting the way this show does this. You can tell who's gonna have really important roles pretty early on, even though like fucking Nelson, that guy, like he wasn't even.
Wait, who's Nelson?
I don't think he's the children of Gabriel.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I didn't know. I couldn't remember his name for the life of me. But ever since you saw him,
because they didn't give him a name until like 2 episodes ago. But he was like, you know, a big like he was a big focus in the show super early on in this season, and he didn't even have a name. But it's one of those things where you can tell he's going to have a name, and they're gonna give him more parts and stuff like that. Let's see. Nyla making a cold pun. The helmet called the planet. It called the planet Nakara, but she also said that it was. Oh man, I don't know how to say it because it's spelled differently than I would. It's like ossuarium or something like that. Which she says is a place where they keep their dead. Yeah. As they dug up a dead human. And there was a symbol on it.
It looked like the Fireflies.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
look for
crossover.
Whoa, it's crazy. I will say this comes in very important and is honestly the most interesting part of this episode to me. And they talk about it later. But right now, because it's weird, right now, who notices this? Is it just Clark who sees the symbol?
No, they all.
I would think that Nyla and Miller would have seen it, but they apparently don't.
I mean, yeah, maybe they just didn't get a good enough look at it. Because, I thought everybody was looking at the body. And you can clearly see the symbol when they're...
Well, actually, who did Nyla... Oh, no, Nyla made the pun to Jordan. I was going to say, if she made it to Miller, then they'd be, like, over in a separate... You know what I mean? Like
they must have... Yeah. They must have just not seen the symbol.
I guess they didn't see it. Yeah. And then... one point I said was when they go... They're following the visor to go find the stone so they can go to the other planets. And as they start going into the quote-unquote cave, right, they start crawling in. And I think it was either Jordan or Miller. I couldn't tell because I don't think they show them. I think they just, like, you just hear it. One of them's like, are we really doing this? And then I put, when they're going into a small cave, and then in all caps, I said, bitch, you're on a separate ice planet that you traveled to with a wormhole. Why are you scared of a cave?
Maybe he's claustrophobic.
Yeah, maybe. But that was one thing that I was just like, bro, you went through a wormhole to another planet that you didn't know if you would be able to breathe.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is what scares you?
And one person had a helmet. And everybody else would have just died.
Yeah. Raven would have... Oh, my God. Raven would have just had to watch everybody die.
She would have just taken her helmet off and she was like, I'm done.
Yeah, probably. Especially the way she is... The state she's in later in this episode.
She's really feeling it.
It cuts back to Murphy at the tavern. Oh, well, my other note was the cave drips acid, so that's fun.
Yeah, and so I wrote a prediction, but I won't say it because it did come true. I was like, oh,
that's awesome.
This is odd. And so I'm like, I'm gonna write this here, and then it comes true. So I was like, oh, nice.
That's great. It cuts back to Murphy at the tavern. He's about to buy the dad of the
boy that he
son.
Saved.
The boy that he saved, who's gonna buy him a drink. I really liked that exchange. I thought that was nice. But then Indra comes up and needs Murphy's help for getting the guns back. And then they go over and talk to Annie, I believe is Hatch's wife's name, right? I believe that's her name. And she basically wants Raven dead. She knows that Raven did what she did pretty much on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, she knows. And they have the guns. Like, she admitted to it. Well, she didn't admit to it, but Indra found her out.
But yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they said we're looking for something or something very vague like that. And she was like, oh, you know, if you want to find your missing guns or something. And she's like, we didn't mention the guns. the classic reveal. And then I thought the other part of the scene that I liked was when she walks away. Murphy goes, we thought Dioza was a handful. And the way Indra looks at him was so funny. Indra just looks over like, now? Like, fucking shut up. I loved it. It was funny.
She really is like, she looks like Dioza just a little bit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The same, like the actresses look the same. And then like her demeanor is very much Dioza, very much strong leader type. And just like doesn't put up with anybody's shit. And so I was like, it's cool that it's cool and it's weird that we have these characters that are kind of very similar.
It is an interesting thing because I definitely want to go back and watch the season where Dioza and the other dude McCreary were like, you know, the villains.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Hatch and Annie were there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wasn't paying attention, and they didn't really have that many lines. But I feel like they had lines. Like,
they were
I
like
feel like
Nyla.
they were commanders.
They were always there, but like we just didn't really pay attention to them.
Yeah, but now that everyone slowly dies, it gets passes on. But yeah, let's see. It goes back to Dioza on Bardo. She's walking through in a disguise. I thought Dioza's little back and forth with that one guard was really funny.
Yeah, because like it was like two times. It was two times that he like hit her, and then she's like, "Hit me one more time," and like you're dead or something like that.
Yeah, she like threatens him, and then here she sees like the cut on his armor that she made, and she was like, and then he sees her, and then she was like, strike 3, and fucking fucks him up, and I was like, oh shit.
The cool thing about this scene, and it like leads into like sort of a reveal of this scene, is like when she escaped, that whole when we were watching her escape when she like bit the guy's neck and whatnot, I thought that was still all in the past. Like I don't know how many years in the past, and so I just was watching this whole scene, and I'm like, okay, this is just. I wonder she must get captured again because they don't say.
If I'm remembering the timeline correctly, right? Octavia, the whole bit with what Octavia went through to where she is now, right? That we saw like I think last episode. That was like 14 days, right? Wasn't that like 2 weeks for her? I believe. I believe it was something like that. So it's the same for her, but you know, Echo and Gabriel and Hope all have gone through like 5 years.
Yeah,
I believe so, or 10. No, for Hope, it's 15 years, right? Since Hope last saw Octavia and Dioza.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, Dioza at least, because she goes back. Yes. So it was. Yeah. So 10 years, she goes and sees Octavia for the first time. Octavia goes back. She goes back, stabs Octavia. That whole deal, you know, beginning of season 7, and then 5 more years before they go back and get Octavia again, right?
Yeah.
Get Octavia again.
Yeah, then
she was up there from the stabbing, and then Dioza. So it has been 15 years since she's seen Dioza, but 5 since she's seen Octavia.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I will say, it's much easier to piece together now, which is crazy.
And now things are like really starting to tie up, like now that, and like, because we finally see that, we see a whole bunch of like helmeted soldiers, and then Dioza's gonna obviously kill them, and then Hope takes off her helmet, and you see that
she throws the knife straight at. Oh yeah, she throws. Dioza picks up the knife and throws it and just chucks it at the soldier, and Hope is the one that takes off the helmet, and there's just a knife in the helmet that I was like, oh damn, you almost just fucking murdered your daughter. Yeah, like that's an impressive helmet, all things considered. But yeah, Octavia, Gabriel, Hope, and Echo are all rejoined. And then it cuts back to Nelson is going into Russell's cell. And then he's basically about to kill Russell, or who he thinks is Russell. And Shade Hater just fucking whoops his ass.
Yeah, multiple times.
But yeah, like 3 times, I think. But I was gonna say, just straight up on like a fucking video production note, the way this was shot and edited was really cool. I don't know exactly how and why, but like it was different than how any of the other fight scenes really are shot, and it showed Shade Hater's like power in a very specific, different way. Yeah. And I was like, that's awesome. That was really, really well done. And then he actually tells Nelson that he isn't Russell and that he can give him power. I really like the scene, the way he plays him here too.
Yeah.
I thought he did a really good job.
And it was like, it's kind of predictable. Like, you kind of almost, like, at least I could see like, oh, he's gonna explain to him like what happened, and then obviously Nelson is going to be enticed because it's like he's not Russell, so killing him is going to give you nothing, but you still want justice, and now this guy can offer justice by giving you power.
Sure, but also part of me is like, what more does Nelson want? He only wants Russell dead. Or at least from all that we've seen, that is all that he wants. Like, from this whole show, all that he wants is death to Primes. Maybe he's gonna promise that he can kill Daniel and Kaylee, But I'm not. Does Shade
Hater know
Nelson?
Does Shade Hater know that that's Murphy and Amori though? I think he knows.
I don't know. I think Nelson knows. I remember a scene specifically where he was like,
yeah,
but.
Who knows what in this show? We need like a spreadsheet. It's like, this person knows this secret, but this person doesn't know.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's like at a certain point, like Arrow season 3, it was like, okay, who knows that Arrow's Oliver Queen? Like, I think he's about to tell this one, but this one doesn't know yet, but this one does know. Yeah, I like this scene though, and then. It goes back to the Nakara group, and then, it's not a cave, it's a living organism.
That was my prediction. I was like,
it is hot. This really is Star Wars.
I was like, oh, they're totally inside a creature. And then, because they're like, oh, it's getting warmer as they're like crawling deeper. And I'm like,
oh my God.
That's what I think was in the first scene when they were crawling through the cave. They're crawling through the cave and they're like, man, it's like getting warmer, and I'm just like, oh, well, like they're inside something, obviously. And then there's like creatures around. I have to say, I did have a problem with like how the creatures were portrayed, because you don't even see them. You see the face hugger or whatever it is.
It's very just like horror gamey.
But then, like, you just see Raven screaming, and then everybody else is, like, looking at stuff. But you never see it actually. Like, you never see what it looks like. And I'm like, man, the budget must have been a little shot on this on this little adventure.
There was a moment here where it was very, like, oh, now we're in a horror game. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, oh, something's in here, guys.
But we'll never see it. We'll just shoot at the walls.
Yeah, they didn't really show them. That's true. But we're going back to the group on Bardo. Let's see. Going back to that group. They're about to go into the room where the stone is, and I thought it was really dope where they're like, Echo says they know we're coming, and Echo I don't know who said they know we're coming, but Echo specifically says to Dioza, "We'll take the right, you go left."
Yeah. And then, like, Dioza was just fine with it, too. She was just
half.
like, okay.
Yeah. She's like, you get half, we'll get the other half.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then I thought the little scene with Levitt was nice. He's being a janitor now. I mean, they really demoted him from, like, fucking scientist to janitor.
It was still just, like, a perfect scene where, like, Octavia looks down the hall, and he's just, like, mopping the floor.
Yeah, I don't know how he like got there exactly at that time or whatever. But he goes over. he was very clear, as in like, yo, I'm all about you, girl. You know?
Yeah, I was kind of annoyed with that. I was like, oh, I don't want like a love interest to bloom in the last season.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to be a lot, but I will say, so far I have liked what they've done with it, and I thought I really bought into fucking Maria Avramopoulos, like her acting right there when like she actually looks back at him, and I was like, oh, that's kind of the first moment where she actually really shows some affection to him. Like she was very clearly like,
she has been pretty like cold and like, I don't like, not just hasn't been, she hasn't had that in a long time.
God.
She's like,
oh my God, it's been a while.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah. Oh man, remember Lincoln?
He was great. Watch American Gods on Amazon Prime.
Oh wow, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Are we sponsored by American? Sponsored by Amazon Prime. If you guys didn't know, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, and you can use that every 30 days to get a free sub to your favorite streamer. Anyways, and you can also watch American Gods.
American Gods. I've heard it's a good show.
Is the dude who plays Lincoln, does he like star in it, or is he just like in it every now and then?
He's the star.
Okay.
Yeah.
God,
it's a very.
Lincoln was awesome.
I forget. Like I watched the first couple episodes. It's a little hard to follow, but it's very visually visually
hard to follow. We're watching the 100 season 7.
This is even worse.
Shit.
It's about like I don't know. It's weird, but it's good. Weird but good.
Yeah, I miss Lincoln. That episode was fucking. That episode was really good. The one where Lincoln died, man. That was tough. That was powerful.
It's always bad. It's always bad losing like a good character.
Yeah,
like a very morally good character.
And in that moment, in that like time period, he was very much an anchor.
Yeah.
You know, like but Levitt, he was like, now punch me again and run. He tells them to go. This is what's weird that I guess we'll have explained later. He tells them to go up to the surface, but also the surface not livable.
He's like, it's
like
harder.
He tells them both of these things.
You'll live like, longer on the surface, but not that much longer, or something like that. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
like longer than you will here. It's like, okay. But then he's like, now punch me again and run. And I was like, oh, that's cute. But she like at that moment, she's like really showing affection, and I totally thought she was gonna be like, no, you're coming with us. But she's like, she gives him like a nice little rub on the face, and then. Boom! Winds up, bam! I was like, damn. I really did for a second thought she was gonna be like, no, you come with us, but nope.
No.
Nope, just punches him in the face.
It was good though, I like that.
Yeah, the scene goes over to Maddie and Indra. It goes over to Maddie. She's on the, the kids are having recess at school pretty much. And one of them's talking to her about the what she's drawing, and she is drawing.
She's drawing the anomaly, and she hasn't seen it, has she?
Maybe.
But she hasn't seen the one on Sanctum. She was never down there.
Is she like Jordan, where she sees things? She sees the.
Well, so this is what I'm.
They still haven't explained that. Remember that whole arc that they teed up in episode 1?
I'm starting to think because we're seeing more and more little breadcrumbs of there was an anomaly on Earth that.
Well, I don't know.
The past commanders, probably knew about an anomaly, and Maddie having the flame, they left some imprint on her so that she can still that's what she's drawing. She's drawing the anomaly that she's seen.
Yeah, I remembered when they got to the anomaly stone, I literally remembered the whole thing that Gabriel said about it, where it's some ancient civilization probably built it millions of years ago, and I was like, oh man, that's so cool. I remember that this episode. I was like, that's so dope. And then Indra comes up and starts talking to her and is like, oh, we need the commander, which is so sad because Maddie in this scene and definitely in the next scene very clearly does not want it.
Yeah.
Very, very clearly does not want to take on this responsibility, but She agrees to it, but then not this next scene, the scene after this. But then the next scene is back to good old big old space worm, you know. Raven and Clark have a little heartfelt moment. She's like, how do you do it? How are you so strong? I killed 4 people and then 8 later that day to top it off. Like, how do you just keep on going? And Clark gives her a whole, like, if anyone's a good person, it's you, Raven. You're maybe the best I know. It's all sweet and shit, But then,
it's very after school special.
Yeah. The one bit that I don't know, I'm extra like loopy this episode. I don't know why. It's fun. But right here, the one part that I didn't fully like vibe with is where she says she like starts explaining how she's super guilty because she could have gone and done it herself. And I was like, man, it's a 4-person job. You got 4 people, and they were all welding. I don't think you could have.
Not all 4. See, I wrote the same thing, but the thing is like I said Raven makes a good point, because if you're a leader, you like, it's like the captain goes down with the ship. That's always always like the thing, like, and so you would think that she would like put herself in this like, okay, so then we need 3 welders, and I'll weld as well.
I don't know. Also, doesn't she mention? Am I
like
crazy?
Clark does that. Clark does that all the time, where she'll put her life on the line for anything.
I mean, I also got the impression that Raven was monitoring the shit because she's an engineer. Like, I don't know. It seemed like, at least in that scene, it seemed like she needed to be there, and like, I don't know, she could have gone in, and that would have saved one person. But like, I don't know. It was very. She's like, I could have done it. It's like, I don't know. It's a 4-person welding job. But I get
4
that
people are
she felt
one
guilty
Raven.
that she wasn't more of a part of it, I guess.
Yeah. And I kind of get that. Well, maybe she's just that good of a welder that she's just like zoom.
She is an engineer.
But yeah, like it is.
She used to go on spacewalks. You remember that?
Yeah. It's the Sophie's choice. It's like, like, I don't know. It's like a very morally gray area, because it's like it's like sacrificing 4 engineers for 1 like rocket scientist or something. Like it's very, there is no right answer. It's just like you have to come to an answer and then just deal with the repercussions after.
Yeah, you gotta just deal with it. As that one Microsoft employee.
Just deal with it, and then the what is it? The glasses,
the sunglasses. Yeah. Then he got fired fucking 5 years ago. Then it goes back to Maddie. She is dressed like the commander, about to address one crew that Indra called them all together. And I literally wrote, Indra's gonna fuck all this up with a lie. Like, it's very classic, like, oh, I gotta keep everything together with this lie that always comes apart in CW shows, no matter what it is.
Can I just say that Murphy this whole episode, like, I just love Murphy's character, even this whole season. Like, everybody else is on high alert. Like, Indra this whole episode was like zooming around, and she was like, okay, I gotta talk to you, now I gotta talk to you, okay, now we have to
shit out.
She was going everywhere, and Murphy was just like laid back, and he was like having a drink at first.
He's
at a bar, he's just chilling, he's just vibing. Even Murphy's in this scene, vibing, he's still just like super calm, and he's just, and yeah.
Murphy's always vibing.
When the world's coming down, he's
vibing.
Just like, whatever.
Remember when him and Amori were out just vibing, like, just together away from everyone else, Man, they used to hate Murphy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I just keep, like, remembering little bits and pieces of
That's a testament to, like,
seasons.
Storytelling and, like, acting on...
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, he started off as a bad guy.
Very far.
Like, there's no way you could have liked him in season 1.
Yeah. But then he slowly started having more and more redeemable and good moments, over time. But it took a long time, and even during a lot of those moments, they were still done out of self-preservation a lot of the time.
And he would still like kind of skirt back. Yeah, he'd skirt back a little bit, and you'd be like, oh, like that's not a really good thing to do, Murphy. It's like I'm trying to like you, and then and then he does something else that's good, and it goes back and forth.
Yeah, pretty much. Indra's basically gonna lead. They suggest it when Maddie runs off. Maddie's having a panic attack and she runs away. When she goes out to address them, right? And it's dope as shit.
Yeah.
She goes out and the one dude of like Shade Hada's like Frost clan or whatever is opposing them or opposing her. And at one point she said, or one of the first things she says is there may be no commander, but make no mistake, I am in command. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, Indra, okay. And then of course the dude's like, yeah, fucking over my dead body, and he pulls out his sword and starts to fight her, and she grabs like a dude's staff nearby and just fucks him up in like 2 seconds. Yeah. And
well, it's like, did anybody really question that? Like, even like Indra's always been like, and this is, I like the scene like right before this when Murphy and Amori are talking to Indra, and they're like, you've always been the leader. Like they said, they weren't in the bunker, but they know who was calling the shots when Octavia was painting blood on her face. It's like, Indra's always been the leader, but she's always just been like the silent leader behind the face, like the face. Yeah.
Even in the bunker, she was like, honestly, even publicly, she was like second in command, you know, like, so I thought it was cool that even though that is breaking a huge tradition and like, what the grounders like grew up to believe, it's still, I don't think many of them opposed it because it made sense,
Yeah.
I will say when she defeats the dude and then she like stands back up and whatnot, I thought it was still cool to see all the grounders' reactions. They all were very shocked that she didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Because that's the grounder way, like, and they're still not fully over that.
Yeah.
But I like that moment. And then it goes back to Bardo, where they're like about to go outside, and this fucking old man walks in
with flowers.
And yeah, and they're all like staring at him. And Dios is like, "Don't worry, no one has to get hurt. Just which way to the surface?" Which, by the way, Diosa, the way she says that, super creepy.
Yeah.
Like, she's smiling. She's like, don't worry. And I'm like, this is not in character. But yeah, the dude, like, tells them and says that you need rebreathers or whatever. And then Octavia says something about, like, I trust Levitt. We need to still do it. And then Echo stabs the fucking murks the old man.
right in the like, back of the neck. Drops the flowers. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, Echo. And Gabriel's not even mad anymore. He's just like, really? like
I've agreed with pretty much all of Echo's killings, all of Echo and Hope's killings, until this one. But I don't stand with with Gabriel.
But then but then Diosa says, she said Levitt's name. We might still need him on the inside.
Like, yeah, that's a good point. But I'm like, dude, this guy, he just came in from the outside. He has a handful of flowers. Who knew he was gonna? He's probably gonna go home to his wife, who's probably also old.
Not anymore, because he's dead.
He's gonna give her the flowers. They're gonna, have some. What do old people eat? I don't know. Let's have some soup,
some oatmeal,
some soup and oatmeal, and then go to bed at like 5:00. But now he's just dead.
He's never gonna do that anymore because he's fucking dead. Echo killed him. But yeah, then Gabriel's like questioning the whole plan because you literally can't like survive on the surface, which is fair. I don't understand the but then he's like, no, we can't do it, and then he puts on his helmet and fucking stun shoots everybody, and then the people starts coming down the hallway, and he's like, oh, I surrender, and then they stun shoot him, and I'm like, well, they're captured now. Real smart, Gabriel.
I was very disappointed with that whole outcome, because it's like, this
is a dumb.
Also,
a dumb move.
They could have like gone to the surface and scoped it out maybe, and then came back. Like we don't know. They didn't really know how to get to this.
In hindsight, they should have gone through the bridge.
But that's where all of them. That's where all they were waiting.
There were people there supposedly waiting for them. But, like, it's fucking Echo and Octavia
and Dioza
and
Hope.
Like, it's fine. Like, and that's the only way that they know. But they trusted Levitt so much that they're going to go to a unsurvivable surface. Like, I don't know. It just seemed very, like, how are you going to... maybe he knows something that I don't. He probably does. He's all in love with Octavia.
Now he's gonna probably have to save them again, release them again. He'll be mopping the floors, coming in and send the janitor.
He's this time he's on all fours with like a toothbrush on the floor. Oh my god! Then it goes back to the Nakara team who are at the stone, and this is when all the invisible monsters, are all the invisible.
They're not technically invisible, but like they did not have the time nor the money to make them appear. Yeah, so they're just shooting at the wall.
Appeared, but it was like shadows.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it was very.
It's like here's a leg. Oh no, a leg.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the most interesting moment I think of the episode, and it happens, of course, right at the end. They find another dead guy, but Miller finds him, and he like pushes aside, probably dust and rock or whatever dirt, and then he's like, Nyla, does this symbol look familiar? She said the second dawn, and she was like, how is it possible I wrote it down. She said the second dawn, how is it possible there's people here from the bunker and Polis? And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So like there must be this whole time period in the bunker where there's probably some other revolution called the Second Dawn that they had to suppress or something, but like we haven't seen that because we didn't see all of the bunker. It was 5 years.
5 years.
But and Polis, like, bro.
Because what was Polis
I'm super
again?
Interested. Polis is the Capitol building with the capital city with the giant tower.
Right.
It's where a lot of the seasons happened. To be honest, like there were a couple seasons where they
pretty much like season 3 to like 5
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that's like the capital city.
Okay.
It's where the bunker, was under, all things considered.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go through the wormhole. They definitely did not go in at the same time.
No.
You know what I mean?
Also, what happens with the memory? The memory wipes.
That was only. This was.
Is that only to the Skyring or to Sanctum?
I believe it is to Sanctum because you're like going to a slower time.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe Sanctum is slow / normal time, what we know.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to either Bardo or to Skyring, you skip forward like years because it's faster, if that makes sense, in comparison.
Okay.
So I think it was for going back in time. I think that was what the memory is. But yeah, that's one thing that I was just like, they're not going to address that. Like, Nyla's not going to show up a month later, but if you're going with the consistency of the show, they absolutely should have held hands and walked in laterally together.
I can't remember. Like, they didn't do that the first time, did they?
I believe they went in all together the first time. I will say we're missing. Oh yeah, Gaia. Gaia went. Do you remember this? Gaia at the end of either last episode or the one before. When they went to Nakara, I think it was 2 episodes ago actually, or 2 or 3 at this point.
You got like pushed in.
Yeah, she got pushed in with one of the soldiers.
Yeah. So like
she
would
is
still
on the ice planet.
Yeah, she would still get
a month
there.
later or something.
Yeah.
So
it's weird that we haven't seen her yet. Still.
Yeah.
In like
What the fuck's happening there? Yeah, who knows? They have a lot to wrap up. It's crazy. This show is fucking insane.
Oh, and we kind of glazed over when Dioza first sees like Hope and Octavian, all of them, and then Echo says something and then just starts walking, and then Dioza's like, "Oh, what's wrong with her?" And then it goes back to Octavian. She's like, "Oh," and she's like, "Bellamy's dead."
Yeah.
So she does at least say it.
That was important.
But it still kind of feels that like he's not dead. And
no, he's not dead. Bellamy's not dead. But it's very funny that or important, like story wise, that she said that, because it is now very clear that is what all the characters are thinking.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be thinking from now on, and so yeah. But it still is. Yeah, it's just they could have at least made his death a little bit more believable to the audience. To then really do the fake out.
Because if there's not, what if he's alive but it's for some other reason, you know? Like, I don't know how, but like it was so very clear what it was, you know? It was a pulse grenade.
You don't see a body.
Yeah, you don't see a body. I don't know.
And there's a wormhole.
Yeah, like what the fuck else is supposed to happen? But yeah, that is the episode, Nakara. Season 7, episode 6. You know, like the video if you're watching this on YouTube. You know, smash that bell, like and subscribe.
Click the bell, probably up there.
If you're not watching this on YouTube, you can just search Tyson and Teddy Talk the 100, and it'll come up. I'm wearing a nice shirt right now. It's got pink, green,
Nitro Rifle.
Blue. Yeah, Nitro Rifle.
I'm wearing a Mary Poppins shirt.
Oh, look at that. That's cool.
Mary Poppins.
I like it. Nice. Yeah, you can see our shirts. You can see what's in the background. You can see this Avatar The Last Airbender poster. Get hyped for Avatar The Last Airbender and the Legend of Korra characters coming to Smite.
You can see I got a Batman statue, right?
Oh, shit.
There.
That's a big-ass Batman statue.
It's the Arkham Knight one. And then I got the Millennium Falcon.
And this is only for video watchers, you know? All you audio listeners are missing out, so check it out. But also, if you're a video watcher, go to the audio service and subscribe and rate and all that stuff.
All the good stuff that you can do.
Yeah. 100%.
And stay tuned. We haven't talked about it yet, but we might do
oh my God.
Last of Us 2.
We should. We really should. Because I have a page and a half of notes.
I've got a lot of
like almost 2
all
pages.
of my notes are in my head because I still very vividly remember everything.
Yeah, I just had to write things down as I kept going because I don't want to forget. But man, I have so many thoughts.
Yeah, we should just pretty much throw it up.
I keep listening. Yeah,
and just like talk about it.
Just yeah, we should, because man, the more I listen to more spoiler casts, the more I'm like, I agree there, but not there. Like there, and I have I have my own unique opinions, as opposed, and that's the thing with this game. I don't think I've seen one person that agrees on every single little thing on this game so far. Like I really don't think I've seen that yet. It's crazy.
It's like the thing is I love divisive things. I love when either people love it or people hate it, because then it means it's like it's real good, because like there's so much there to die. When it's just all amazing, it's good, but it's just kind of like I don't know. It's not boring, but it is boring. Like it's this weird. It's a very weird thing. Like it's like with Red Dead. Like Red Dead was just this huge divisive thing. Even Death Stranding. Like these games are so weird, and like
it's more granular and easy to like pick apart because of like some people really like them, some people really hate them, but really like most of the time it's a lot more when something is either love or hate, you know that in all reality like the more common opinion is somewhere in the middle. Yeah. But it's harder to find that opinion. So people then go to love or hate. But really, if you sit down and dissect even your own opinions on it, there's so many little things. You know what I mean? That's the case with a lot of stuff, but definitely is with this one. I really like the game, but I have a lot of opinions on it.
Same with me. Yeah.
But yeah.
And we'll talk about them.
You can check that out on YouTube, and also follow me on twitter.com/TeddyChinaris and Twitch and Instagram and everything and all that stuff.
You can follow me on Twitter at Tyson Pellegrini, Instagram Pellegrini_17, and Twitch TPellegrini, and that's all of my things as well. See you next week.
See you next week, y'all.
Peace.